Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do start, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of things have happened. We had Deku and his allies. We also had Anel and his 4 priests. Now, Deku has had a lot of people in his life die, very close to him. His family, his adoptive mother, and his mafia family. And now Deku, he wants to try and at least turn a few things around. Deku, he sees that Enel acts a lot like All for One. And Deku, he could flat out kill Enel right now. Kill the man, take his devil fruit, and more than likely, walk away. But Enel has ego. And Deku, he wants to see that knocked down a bit of a peg. Right now, Deku, his team, is going to face off against Enel's priest. And they've all chosen an ordeal. Now, Deku is quite intrigued to watch how this may go. He is staying on Angel Island while his team heads to Upper Yard, and Enel, he's going to be watching on. Deku's staying in the city because Enel might blow this place up, and that would annoy Izuku. They have mirrors on Angel Island. Deku doesn't know what's up on that place. Momo could create a mirror to get them out of there, but I mean, honestly, that would kind of ruin the fun. He wants to see where everybody is at after 2 years of training, and that is a lot more interesting. And Deku, he's even giving Bakugo a chance to kill a man with the devil fruit, see exactly where he might be, before he might have to step in. Now, with that being said, we do currently have right now, with Bakugo and the Ordeal of Iron. Now, Bakugo is going to be going up against a man named Ohm, and that does mean quite a lot. He is currently being guided to a ring. Now, currently Bakugo, he does a look around, and it seems very interesting, and that does say quite a lot. He is quite annoyed, though he's also a bit more intrigued. The guy up in the clouds is supposed to be powerful. Anel was his name, and he actually is quite happy to be back on the crew. Yeah, he did go out on his own. He had his own teacher, and he's gotten a lot stronger. Though the swordsman guy, he wants to see where he might compare. If this guy is strong, it should be fun. It should be good. Though he's also concerned as to what might be on Deku's mind, what he might be planning. He wants to know where Mina is, he wants to know where Ochako is, he wants to know where his best friend is. And that's the main focus on his mind. If Kirishima truly isn't impelled down, he'll escape, right? Find a way out? He has to. That's just what he's got to do. Otherwise, they have to go in there and get him free. And that currently is what's going through Bakugo's head. He's been through a lot in the last 2 years. He's seen crazy things, done crazy things, fought crazy things, and killed crazy things. He's even learned a few things. And that is where he does want to put his skills to the test. Deku, though, he'd be a better test. But this guy could be a pretty good warm-up. Now, we do currently have, not Deku, Bakugo, who does stand there in the ring. Him looking around at some of the ruins that are here. And right now, Enel, he's a bring his own hand up. And Deku, he does a look up. As Enel, he does let off a lightning bolt directly up into the air. And whenever the sound does get a carcoom through the air, Bakugo and the priest, they do to get ready. The man actually going to bring his hand up and adjust the dial on his weapon. As right now his sword, it does at least get a bit more malleable and freely moving. A lot more like a whip. And he does want to get ready. Bakugo uses 2 swords. He also has a third one on his hip, so that is quite intriguing. If Bakugo does have 3 swords, that means he has a plan for if his second one breaks. His weapons might be good, but they come from the sea below. And Enel, he is quite curious to know how this might go. His priest uses 1 blade, but he has a very good mantra. He should be able to take Bakugo out relatively easily. And currently Bakugo, he does get someone stand there. Him bringing his hands down and pulling two of his swords. And when Bakugo, he doesn't think about what to do. The guy's weapon, if it is malleable, able to move around like a rope, then it should be easy to get, right? I mean, it could be pretty good in his arsenal. That is say quite a lot. Though, these guys don't have haki. Definitely intriguing. Now, we do actually have Ohm. Ohm, he actually is quite intrigued to fight Bakugo. And currently, he is rushing forwards as he's going to run through the air. Now, or run and jump through the air. Him bringing his hand back and going to actually let his whip fly out forwards. Him going to try and throw it down towards Bakugo as Bakugo says bring up his sword. Right now the whip going to actually wrap around his sword as Bakugo, he's going to hold on to it. The man trying to pull as Bakugo, he does hold on and he does it pulled directly in by Ohm. Or Ohm is pulled directly in by Bakugo. Now, Bakugo just stand there. The man going to actually pull back his weapon and going to actually somewhat reel it in. Him tightening the blade as he just smash directly down to Bakugo. And Bakugo, he actually doesn't stand there clashing blades with the man, bring up his sword and trying to slash at the man's head and trying to take off his arm. As currently the man does actually throw his hand up and let go of his weapon, grabbing with his hand and trying to actually bring up his leg to attack. And Bakugo, he does could actually somewhat dodge and move out of the way. As the two go rush back forwards and clash again. And the man is actually quite impressed. As Bakugo, he does talk about a few things. Currently, him holding his blades like an X as Ohm's weapon, it is actually somewhat curved at the top. Him going to bring it down and clash again to Bakugo's swords. Him expressing to Bakugo, he really can't win. And Bakugo just stares at the man. Him so he's going to smile. Ask him if he really does think that that's true. Since he's taking it easy on him. Besides, he doesn't seem to be very strong. And the man starts to somewhat laugh. As Bakugo, he does just bring his swords flat and slide them both up, him cutting through the top of the metal. As one of the man, his sword does actually fall forwards and Bakugo does jump backwards, him leaping forwards and kicking the man in the chest. Him being sent flying backwards as a smash looking down onto the ground. Him going to sit up as currently he does look around and grab his sword. Him going to adjust the dial and going to turn. Him lashing out towards Bakugo. And Bakugo this time is going to bring up his arm. Him dropping his sword and actually going to bring it up as the weapon is going to wrap around his arm. And Bakugo, he's going to turn grabbing it. And the man, he doesn't want to smile. Bakugo going to use armament haki and tell the guy. He really doesn't understand. Bakugo pulling up forwards as he's going to bring up his other arm. Him slashing through the whip. And the guy is quite alarmed. Since Bakugo cut his weapon. And then there actually Bakugo, he's going to look down at the iron cloud. Him going to bring his hand up and rip it off of his arm. Talking to the man. You know, the battle was already over. The moment he realized he couldn't use haki. Couldn't use what? Yeah. Not gonna lie. This will definitely be fun. Now, Bakugo does bring his leg to the side, him kicking upwards into the air and grabbing his other sword. Him expressing, you know, he was really hoping to save this, though he's gonna go ahead and get this over quickly. He isn't even really a challenge. And none of the man does a stare Bakugo. Him yelling at his Bakugo, he does just bring his hands up and cover his weapons in haki. Him going to somewhat sidestep as his eye disappear from the man's view. And currently the guy just don't stand there. Him going to actually feel wounds on his chest and look down. As he does it, bring his hands up, dropping his weapon. As he is grabbing his chest, and on Bakugo, he does a turn. Him throwing out his weapon and stabbing it directly in the man's chest. As Ohm, he doesn't want to stand there, looking down at the blade that cut through his weapon. And his gear, he lost. Currently I'm going to fall forwards. And another actually is an L, who's quite alarmed. That battle was over rather fast, and it looked pretty bad. So, that is not good. Now, with that being said, let us currently cut over to the Ordeal of Spheres, where Asui, she was told quite a few things. She was told about how she is going to be put on a boat and sailing through an area of water on the island of Skypea. Now, what's going to be happening is quite simple. He set up the game to be like this. There are going to be spheres all over the forest, some in the water, some in the air, some in the trees. What she's going to need to do is quite simple. They're going to be sailing through a very, very strong current, and he's going to blast her off of the boat whenever he does go to attack. What he's going to do is get her off the boat, and if she can't get back on, then she loses the ordeal, and Anel himself will strike her down. She will already be judged, or she'll be pulled away by the current and drown. And also doesn't want to stand there on the boat. She doesn't want to hide or smile. Since this ordeal, it was practically made for her. Now, when Oscar's going to stand on the boat, going to bring her hand up and pull the knife out of the back of her waistband. A lot more ready about things. Her's going to spin in her hand as she actually does bringing her her hand out flat and have the blade roll around the back of her hand. Going into the handle and going to get ready. Honestly, a lot more happy. Things are going to be fun. Though, if this is really just a test, then it will really be nothing. Things in the calm belt are a bit trickier. I mean, swinging the calm belt, yeah. You get too far away from the island, the current gets pretty strong. Though she is curious about the water and the forest around them. If this really is supposed to be a deadly ordeal, then what exactly is in those spheres? And that doesn't worry her. There is no obstacle she's not thinking about. Yes, she might be able to swim faster than this boat, but if this guy does have some sort of tech or some sort of way to, cheat, then she is going to be in a lot of trouble. Now, this is where the man, he does got to get ready. And that does say quite a lot of things. Currently, she does go to get ready. Now, the person is going to come into attack. And there actually is Oswey, who's a leap backwards, and the person is going to smash their fist directly down and land on the boat. Then I'm going to turn and stare at her. Oswey going to rush forwards, her lunging off her left leg with an immense amount of speed, and actually going to thrust out the knife forwards with a lot of force. The person going to bring their hand up in Oswey. She does going to directly get in close to the personal bubble. Ironically. Now, this is where Oswey will bring up her weapon and stab them directly up in the chest. Her smashing them directly in the side as the person will bring up their other hand. Whenever they threw out their right hand closer to their body. Admiral Oswey is hit with an impact dial. Her being smashed backwards with a lot of force and currently smashing to the railing. The person would actually turn and bring their hand up to the weapon. Them, about to pull it out, have the to stop, turning back to Oswey and going to rush forwards. Them bring both of their hands together and going to get ready. As Oswey, whenever she does going to rush towards them, she was hit with both impact dials. Her being sent flying backwards out of the boat with a massive amount of force, smashing the railing, and crashing into the water below. Now, the priest, they do going to do one thing. They're going to bring their hand up and grab onto the weapon. Them grabbing onto the piece of metal and going to actually break it off. So right now they do going to turn and throw what's left of the dagger down onto the ground. Them trying to take a breath. Okay. They didn't expect that. Okay. Though they're fine. She's gone. Now, there's actually Oswey. Oswey let herself fall down a bit further. And currently, she's going to at least flip her body around and swim towards the boat. Her going to get ready. This is going to be very, very easy. All she needs to do is surprise attack that person and get them. Though their hockey abilities are low and slow. Okay, so she tried to at least hit a vital area. But she may have missed the lung. No, she definitely pierced it. Though those things on his hands, she knew they were weapons, but those actually hurt a bit. We're not going to swim to the surface. Going to actually turn, as there actually is one of those spheres in the water. It's going to pass by her as Oswey. She's going to watch it as it does going to rush towards the boat. Now, the boat is going to swim past, it being pulled up by the current and moving towards Oswey. As Asui does a try and swim backwards, bring up her leg. Her gonna kick it up in the air, after the thing does a go up in the air and explode into confetti. The explosion going off, after the boat is shook by the force and Asui does a turn. Her a bit surprised. After the person, they do gonna get ready. Them gonna actually start bring up their hands and think about what to do. As Asui does a grab onto the boat by the back and start to climb up. The person gonna run over and throw themselves halfway over the thing. As Asui does a lunge upwards into the air, and the person they just blast her back down. Asui going above the attack, as she does a turn. Her spinning and going to actually try and dive down towards them. Asui right now smashing directly onto them and grabbing the person by their neck. Her bringing her other hand up and smashing their head forwards. As Asui does smash the person's head directly into the railing. Her going to grab them by their neck and throw her leg down to the ground. Her turning and chucking the person directly at the helm, which has been tied to go straight. Now, the helm, it currently does its own shake. The person smashing their back into it as also as a turn and rush forwards. Her going to actually throw her hand out with hockey as she has a smash and jerky in the chest. Another piece of their sternum does get a break. Them going to bring up their hands and try and grab Asui. However, the moment they do try to bring their hands up to Asui to grab her by the shoulders and use the impact dials on her face, close up and personal, Asui's going to bring up her hands. Her grab the person by the arms and going to actually force them backwards and break them. Her going to turn and grab the priest as she has to smash them to the ground. Bring back her fist and going to armor it up. Her going to throw it down forwards and go for the finishing blow. Now, Asui does something to sit there. Her actually going to turn and grab onto the glove. Her going to pull it up and as at least trying to expect it. This is strange. A seashell. Could be useful. Also, you're going to put on the glove. And at least a little bit annoyed. Her, so I'm going to tighten it up a bit more and rip off the parts that don't fit completely. And also, as I turn to grab the other glove. As the boat does sail down the water. Now, Anel's quite annoyed. He's seeing a few of these battles go on. And he's annoyed. 2 of his men are down. Okay, but the other 2 are having difficulties right now. However, let's cut back to the other battles. Now, let's start with Lillian, shall we? Lillian is a cat who ate the human fruit and has been in possession of this fruit for about 3 years. Now, that is say quite a lot of things. She has definitely been a bit weird for Deku to handle, and that is say quite a bit. He adopted a stray cat, and that cat ate a devil fruit and basically is now his daughter. And Deku, over the last 2 years on Amazon Lily, has tried to help her immensely with a few things. But that's still strange. She wants to experiment more and learn more about medical knowledge. She likes the rumble balls she created, with Momo's help. And over the last 2 years, she's been trying to use what she can on Amazon Lily to help understand more about her abilities. She uses them, she can do strange things, but there is still the fact that she does have her human form, which she does understand that the other guy does not know about yet. And currently, Lillian does get ready. The lightning gonna crackle, and right now Lillian, she does gonna turn and stare at Gadetsu. As you do cut to that man's mind right now. The wheel is still spinning, but the hamster is fucking dead. Moving on. Currently, Lillian does gonna grow in size, and Gadetsu, he does continue his internal monologue. Him staring at her a bit confused. She can grow. Okay, probably not good. Though, she's a larger... What's the word? Target! There it is. Now, Gadetsu does a fly up into the air. And currently Lillian does go on stare on. And right now, she doesn't want to look forwards. Trying to think about exactly what to do. One wrong step, and she might be killed. So, that is bad. Very, very, very bad. Okay, don't panic. Try not to panic. Stay calm. Her right now is freaking out a bit. Since any cloud she steps on might be a bad spot to move. However, Lillian does try to think. Her still going to move forwards carefully. Gedetsu just going to fly up in the air. Him still staring on kind of confused. She's a giant girl covered in hair. She's weird looking and this is strange. But why does he feel like he's forgetting something? Okay. No. Okay, everything's fine. I'm gonna look down at his hand. And right now, Godot don't follow the arrows, as it does have written right there on his palm, in someone else's handwriting. He's in a fight. And now Gedetsu, he doesn't look back up, remembering why he's here again. And currently, he does this on fly forwards. Now, this guy's a fucking moron. If anyone knows One Piece, if you guys don't know this guy, look him up. I'm portraying him accurately. Anyways, currently Lillian does this on stare on Gedetsu. Him bring up his hands, as right now he does this on fly out and try and blast her with the power of his gauntlets. Now, currently there actually is the dials he does get shoot out. Right now he's going to use jets to try and boost his attacks. And currently there's a smash trick into Lillian. As he does, I'm going to fly backwards, still on the cloud. Her is going to leap upwards and land. Her going to try and move and stare Doki at Gedetsu. Him flying forwards as she is going to go down on all fours. Her going to try and move out of the way. And Gedetsu's a lot more alarmed. As you know, Lillian to stay close to the ground and going to get ready. Her going to use her claws and start to move a bit faster. As Gedetsu, he does try and look around. As he does try to bring his hands down and blast the area around him. Him trying to make holes in the ground that might make her get stuck. And that actually might be a problem. And currently the actual Lillian, she just stepped Ricky into one of the swamp clouds. Her right now going to smash down into it, and someone gets stuck for a second. Her going to stand there as she actually does try and pull her hands out as Gedetsu does a fly up towards her. And currently whenever he does a fly towards her, he does a throw out his hand. Him trying to attack her, as Lillian does a slash upwards with her claws. Him being scratched across the chest, as Gedetsu, he does try and fly backwards. However, he does fall and smash that Ricky down in the cloud head first. Him a lot more surprised, as he currently does also look down at the sea below. Him a lot more alarmed and trying to pull his head out. As Lillian does a run over. Her gonna actually bring her leg up and smash down to get Gedetsu. Her gonna watch as the man does fall halfway through the cloud as he does try to bring his hands up and grab up. Him trying to fly back up through it, as there actually is where he does a fly up. Him alarming Lillian as she does actually try and bring her hand up and try and grab to get under the man's leg. Her can actually bring her hand down and slam it back down to the cloud. Her grabbing the thing on his ankles and going to slice it Durkee off. As she does bring her claws back and somewhat go to bring them out a bit more. Her going to get ready, swinging her hand down and clawing the man Durkee in the chest. And there actually is an L. He's watching one of his priests get ripped apart by a cat. What the fuck is going on today? Now, currently at Gedetsu, he does try to at least attack Lillian more. And whenever he does a smash into her, he actually is finally able to annoy her enough, smashing her in the nose very hard. And Lillian does get a look with the man. Him flying backwards in the cloud, as currently he does try and bring his hand back up. Him still going to try and float, as he does realize something. He is not very stable. Without two of those things connected to his ankles, or one to each leg, he can't stay flying steady. And currently he is basically trying to balance on a line. As right now there is where he does try to bring his hand out and blast out his thing, the air jet, directly on his wrist. Him gonna fly that direction as he's trying to make up for it. Now, the man is mainly focusing on his balance, and that's the only thing he can really focus on. Him flying in a circle around Lillian. While Lillian does have her hands up, she is gonna wait. And wait. And wait. And wait. And currently there actually is where Gedetsu, he should have figured out exactly how he can stop himself from flying this way. Since he's getting a little dizzy, and currently his glove, yeah. It's either this or he falls. And let's see. What to do whenever things aren't working. Turn them off and on again. Him trying to do that. And currently there's a fall and smash Ricky onto the cloud. Him watching Lillian as she does a turn and charge him. Her running on all fours and leaping Ricky over one of the holes he created. Her smashing Ricky down onto the man. And currently, well, he does try to bring his fist back to attack her. He thinks about hitting her directly where she was thrown off of him last time. He punched her in the nose, that thing on her face, and she jumped off of him. It might be a weak spot. Weak spot, right. Him bringing back his fist and trying to throw it out forwards. Her bringing her hand up and grabbing him by the arm. Her actually going to bite directly into the man's wrist, ripping the shell off of his hand as she does spit it out. Her bringing back her fist and directly smashing him into the cloud. As there actually is, where she does bring her hands up and grab him. Her pulling him up in the air and going to turn and throw him down one of the holes. And right now there is where he does try to fly back up. However, there's a problem. The thing on his leg, he turned it on. And the thing on his hand, he doesn't know exactly how to do this. And when he does try to hold up his hand, he does still have his leg pointed down. While he's being thrusted down, his arm is trying to pull him back up. And currently does spin into a circle and smash down to the ocean below. Where he does have a few things happen. Number 1, he probably does not know how to swim, so there's that. Number 2, he's in the ocean, close to Jaya. Moving on. Now, Anel's a lot more annoyed, and he does at least try to think about one good thing that came from this problem. The idiot's gone. So, there's that. The first one to fall, in fact. Quite annoying. And that, we do actually have where we do cut over to the last match, where the lightning is to crackle, and Mama does stand there, as she does have the ordeal of strings. Now, currently she does go and sit there, and she is in the arena. The battlefield, it currently is in a forest, and Momo, she does feel a bit more outgunned. Maybe she should have taken on the other ordeal. I mean, she has to go up against a guy with a bird. And, well, he looks strange. Now, Momo, she is trying to get prepared. And there currently is where she has started to make mirrors. She's already made 2 that are large enough for her to crawl out of. And that has been quite a lot. Over the last 2 years, she actually has gotten a bit more up and active. So, it's definitely interesting. She hired personal trainers, and she even tried to use what she knew of hockey to develop her own skills further. She can use armament hockey and observation hockey. However, the fact of the matter is, she's been also trying to improve herself with her devil fruit abilities. So, that's where she's already at. On her way here, she already made 2 mirrors and hid them in the forest. She currently has 2 other ones. And one of them is an escape emergency if she does need it. The other one, though, that is what she'll use to escape from nearby. And that currently is on her mind. And we do currently have the Aviator. Or, well, as he's actually named... what is it? Shura. Now, Shura, he currently does have a lot to do. He wants to make sure to impress Anel. And after the lightning crackled, he knew the round began. Him getting ready with his giant bird and his lance. The man definitely will have quite a lot of fun. So, what will happen? How will this go? That's all really up to him. He will not fail Anel. And that definitely does say quite a bit of things. Now, the bird is flying through the air, and currently the man is trying to sense where Momo is using his mantra. And Momo, she currently is going to pop out of a mirror. Her actually going to look around as the man, he does not fly by. And Momo does stand there. Her going to create another mirror, and actually so going to adjust the way this one is. Her going to actually leap directly through the air, and go to, with one hand, grab out towards a branch. Her flipping up and over it. As she actually does try to keep up with the man. However, the guy, he does get a sense of Momo behind him. The bird currently going to swing back around as the man, he does a turn. I'm going to bring up his hand and get ready. Now, the man, he does actually got to feel Momo disappear from his presence. And that sort of is odd. And he's alarmed. Where did she go? Now, that does not make sense. And currently the guy, he doesn't going to fly by. Momo going to actually sit there and listen, hearing the sound of the massive bird flapping its wings. As Momo just pop out of the mirror again, her going to turn and swing through the air. Her going to actually create another mirror and disappear again. And this does not go on. Momo does try to keep the man well on edge. He can't censor, then she pops back up. He can't censor, and then she pops back up. Over and over. And he does see her a few times, but she disappears behind mirrors. And Anel does go to watch this. And this doesn't concern him. She has the ability to create these things and move freely through them. Whatever is going on, she's able to. This does not make sense. So he wouldn't need to just destroy the island, he'd have to kill her. Trap them all in the sky. And Anel, he does stare down at Momo. Perhaps there's a way for him to make a deal with her. Maybe. Her power is interesting. Her and him could make a very good team. Okay, so there is that. Interesting. That on his mind. If he could turn her to his side, give her mercy, then he can use his abilities to beat the outsider man, the man made of light. He would be his biggest threat. Though being able to kill him would be challenging. Perhaps trap him in a mirror. She has the ability to move through them, and she saw how they moved through them before. So maybe she would be his best option. If he does need to, she will be under his control. He'll try to take her under his control, or try to make a deal with her. And then, as soon as possible, take her out whenever she doesn't notice. And that currently is on his mind. And we do currently have Ramona's that'll fly through the air. Her going to actually bring the mirror up and throw it underneath her. Her going to actually land and fall through the mirror. As Momo is all falling into her dimension and flipping. Her currently going to turn and land. As she has to stand up and look around. Her currently seeing a few of the mirrors that are in the exact spot. The nearest ones nearby. And Momo's to look around. Her currently going to get ready. She wants to go for a quick attack. If she can do that, then this should all be easy. Okay. But how will she do this? Okay, so possibly lure him to one place. Take him out that way, or... No. She needs a better idea, a better plan. He has that lance, and that bird can breathe fire. So... Okay. I think Yaoruzu think the best option is to distract him, right? Okay, but that might take time. Okay. We're going to reach down. Her grabbing at her waist and going to somewhat get ready. Her pulling out a tiny pistol. And she does have a lot on her mind. She does always keep a piece on her. Always learn that lesson. Though, let's see. 4 bullets, okay. We're going to load the gun. And think about how this might go. She has to get a good shot on this guy. If she can't, then it won't really work. That's the problem, though. Maybe she should have brought more weaponry. She can probably buy something at the next island, but that's uncertain. Maybe she should have looked for a gun on Jaya. That on her mind. It does want to unnerve her. However, right now she's going to pop her hand out of a mirror. And currently she's going to bring her hand up and go to get ready. Sticking her hand directly up to the mirror. And there actually is where the man is that feel Momo's mantra. Her currently reappearing on a branch. And the man is at turn. Him flying the bird over and going to actually land. The man going to rush over and try to attack Momo. However, when he's going to turn around the mirror and go to strike down at it, there is Momo, who does bring her hand up and out of the mirror. Right now the man going to sense another mirror as he has to turn his head and leap backwards. As Momo, on another branch higher above, she does going to pop her hand out and fire. Her somewhat leaning her head at the edge of the mirror, on the inside. Now, Momo does gonna fire the gun, and the man, he actually does go to try and dodge. Him almost being struck in the leg and getting a small flesh wound. However, the actress Momo does a pull her hand back and gonna pull the gun back to the mirror. The man gonna turn and go to yell it to his bird. It's blasting out towards the branch above. And currently the bird is gonna watch as the man is gonna run back over and climb back on. Him going to actually try and fly up into the air again. The mirrors are. How is she? Every. Okay, she has a mirror. So there's that. Although her little game, she can't play it if he destroys the mirrors. He knows that much. Though it would be dangerous. That's currently in his mind. And Mo doesn't reappear. The man gonna lower himself and dive down into the forest, as currently he has to evade what Momo thought would be a shot. However, before she could pull the trigger, the man dived, and she actually almost had to throw her finger out. She almost squeezed the trigger and ruined one of her shots. She only has 3 left, and that is definitely a bit of a problem. Though this man's close range, well, she can be long range. She can be mid range or. That would be an idea. He does not know about that ability yet, and it would definitely be good. Maybe you can. That's right. We're gonna pop out of a mirror and create the man as a sense all of Momo's mantra. That was a tongue twister right there. Now, currently Momo does a pop out of the mirror completely. Right now, her gonna leap down to the forest below as it has a turn. Him gonna actually get an eye on Momo. Her gonna land and drop her gun as it does slide across the ground. And the guy has to dive for it. His bird currently flying down straight at Momo. Now, the bird is going to shoot a massive wave of fire directly at Momo. And Momo does going to bring up the mirror and going to create it. Her making it long to cover her entire body like a shield. And when the fighter is going to reach her, it's going to fly directly into the mirror. As it does, then going to fly directly back out and at the bird. The bird being struck as the man is flying off of it. Him going to smash down as Mo's going to turn. Her going to run over and throw down a mirror. Her bring her hand up as the guy is going to roll out of the way and dodge. Him bring up the fire lance and try to attack Momo. Him rushing forwards as Momo does a turn, bring up her hands and creating a mirror. The man's arm thrusting directly into the mirror thinking that he'll break it, and strike Momo directly in her chest. As his arm does go flying into the mirror and he's going to step forwards. He'll be a bit off balance as Momo does a let go of the side and create the man to turn and fall over. Him somewhat surprised and looking down at his arm, as Momo does a stand there. Her expressing to him about how, she doesn't really like doing the dirty work so often, but when she does, it often does seem funny. You'll undo that. No, I won't. I am one of the people who are in charge. I always hate seeing people who think they're better than me. It's hard to be. Though, a pretender. That's what he is, isn't he? You will not question him. I will. I question a lot of things when they don't make sense or add up. That's what I do. And right now, I will tell you. Her is going to step forwards, and the man is going to throw up his hand. And Momo is actually a bit more alarmed, where she's going to feel something drag across her forehead. Her going to somewhat stand still. And Momo is a bit surprised. She doesn't even know what just happened. But there actually is blood pouring from her head. And Momo, she doesn't stare at the man. Her going to try and back up as she does feel something cut into her arm. Her turning and see that blood is pouring down. And Momo going to turn back. Her feeling something that went across her face. And she is going to bring her hand up. Her going to turn and stare at the man, as he is trying to tell her. He'll make this quite simple. He didn't want to use these, but he thought it would have been at least fine to give her a fair chance. Though, he must admit, sometimes using these are fun. Now, he will take her out, and she will be judged by Anel. Give him back his arm, and he won't make it so. Momo gonna actually armor up her hands. Her gonna turn and cover her throat in armor hockey. As she is gonna bring up her arms and rip through the strings. And that does somewhat alarm the man. As Shura, he has a turn and stare at Momo. Him rushing forwards and using the strings still connected to his glove. If he can get in close enough, he can wrap them around her neck and take her out. And there actually is where Momo does a turn. The man gonna throw out his hand as Momo's to bring her hands to create a mirror. Her grabbing onto the sides of it and running forwards to the man. As currently, the man is run directly into the mirror dimension. Her gonna let go of the mirror and drop it. As the man is gonna stand there. Him a bit more annoyed. Him gonna turn and sit up and he looks around to see what is happening here. Is that his arm at the end of the corridor? Him looking down, looking up, and wiggling his fingers. He has to see the thing wiggle his fingers down the hallway. Him a lot more disturbed. And currently there actually is a turn to see Momo, who does speak through the mirror. You know, that wasn't very nice. Get me out of here. No. You see, when I do the legwork sometimes, I do like to have my fun. And I do have to say, actually having to show off abilities here, it was annoying, but I guess Anel is gonna have to wait next. We'll get him, you know. And I'll make sure to show you how he died. It's my little treat. Though, you really should not have underestimated me. I'm gonna bring up her foot, covering it in armor hockey and smash it right down at the mirror. It's gonna shatter and break as the mirror's gonna disappear in the dimension. It looking cracked, and the reflection is gone. The man's staring into a blank piece of nothingness. And that does unnerve him. I'm gonna turn and run around. He needs to find a way out of here. And that is where we'll leave him off. Now, there actually is an L. He knew it was possible, but the abilities they are all showcasing, it shouldn't be, how is this? It does annoy him. And currently everybody, they do gonna meet up in Upper Yard. And Deku, he does still sit there. Him, feeling a knell, gonna stand up himself. And currently the man, he does have a lot going through his mind. Who he should kill first. Who he should try to take down. And that does certainly mean quite a lot of things. As we do actually have where everybody, they do gonna meet up. And Bakugo, he does just stand there. Him, a bit more surprised, since Lillian completed her trials first. Though Bakugo did play around with that swordsman. Well, she did seem to take it very seriously. So he'll at least give the kid that. Now, with that being said, Memo, she actually is quite happy to meet up with everybody. And they all do have minimal injuries. The only one here who really got hurt was Momo. Now, Anello's gonna get ready. He is gonna have a battle with these people. And it does slightly concern him. As currently Deku, he's gonna fly down. Him asking Nell if reality has set in at all. What did you just say? Has reality set in at all? What? Did you get something in your ears there for a second? You see, that's your ego cracking. I will kill you. No, you won't. You're still going to face off against my swordsman. I know he's rather eager to try and cut your head off. You think that will be possible? Oh, I know it will. Because I figured out something that you did not quite seem to understand. And that would be, your guys look like they've never seen hockey. What? I don't know what you call it. But clearly, you don't understand how this stuff... Deku bring up his arm, covering his arm in armor hockey as the guy does a stare on. Deku turning and looking at his arm. He doesn't know how this works, does he? It's simple. He's just an idiot. He is no god. And Anel does a stare at Deku. Him annoyed and going to throw out his hand. Him gonna try and blast out his Deku as Deku's gonna bring up his own hand. Him blasting the attack away as he does gonna bring up his other hand. Him telling Enel, save that for his swordsman. Otherwise, things with him might get messy. And Enel, he's quite annoyed. However, there actually is where Bakugo, he does just stand there. Him going to try and tell Enel about how things are going to go and what exactly this will be. And the man, here's I turn to Bakugo, telling Deku, fuck off, he'll handle this guy. I'm just here to watch it personally. Though, Osui, how are your injuries? None, really. Good. Find an apple, some sort of fruit. You need to be able to claim his. Otherwise, it might end up on Jaya. Right. Lillian gonna run up. Her throwing herself into his leg, asking him if she fought good. And Deku's a turn. I'm gonna bend down and pick up Lillian. Her turning back into a cat as Deku's to tell her. She fought very well. Him going to bring his hand up and patting her on the head. As she does this smile and look at Deku. And right now there actually is Enel, who's confused. It's a creature. It looks strange. And Bakugo doesn't bring his own hand up. Him gonna send a slash for Enel as well as a turn. Him looking back at him as right now Enel is trying to dodge out of the way of the attack. Bakugo gonna try and tell the man that he really should not take his eyes off of an opponent. That was one of the first things he learned being a swordsman. And hell, he's got to show him the rest he's learned. He had a pretty fucking good teacher. The guy might have been a hard ass, but there's at least one thing he did know. How to fucking fight. And right now Enel just stared down at Bakugo. Him a bit disgusted by how vulgar his speech was. And right now Enel is to bring his hand up with his staff. Him pointing out to his Bakugo and telling him he'll die. And Bakugo, he has a smirk. Him going to do one simple thing. He does it to bring his hand up with his sword. Him going to put it directly into his mouth and bite down on the blade handle with his jaw. Now, this is somewhat surprising to Enel. Him watching Bakugo bring his hand down and unpull or unsheath his other sword, spinning around in his hand and grabbing onto it, and go to put up a stance. And Deku doesn't stare on. 3 swords. He's gonna fight with 3 swords. Okay, this is actually gonna be a little interesting. Now, Bakugo does get a rush forward towards Enel, and Enel does stand there. Him trying to predict Bakugo's following moves. And currently Bakugo does a rush forwards as he does strike directly down at Enel's staff. And manages to bring up his weapon and block both of the blades. Bakugo trying to swing his head around and attack with the third blade connected in his mouth. Enel does a step backwards. Him throwing his leg to try and attack Bakugo. For Bakugo, he has to throw down one of his swords and block the attack with the flat part of his blade. And right now Enel going to somewhat push backwards as Bakugo does a push forwards. And Enel, he does get put on the back foot. Bakugo definitely seems to be a very strong individual, a very strong fighter, and that does say quite a bit. However, right now Bakugo, he is being relentless and on an aggressive path. Right now Bakugo is going to rush out again to attack, and Enel is going to bring up his hand. Him going to actually use his powers to separate his, staff into 2 parts. Him currently going to bring up his hands and block the attacks. And Deku's going to watch on. The guy clearly has some form of ability. He's a devil fruit user. They know that much. But what Deku's watching, Enel going to actually dodge out of the way of Bakugo's attacks and move out of the way of his blades. Him blocking both of the attacks and going to actually bring his hands up. Him going to actually try and smash out his hand as he does actually bring up his weapon. Whenever Bakugo does a dodge out of one of them, he does actually going to bring up his other hand, smashing Bakugo across the head. And Bakugo is struck by the golden staff. Enel going to actually try and bring his hands up and electrify the staff, as Bakugo does a leap backwards and bring his own weapon up. Right now Enel going to blast out the lightning as Bakugo does a bring his own hand up and slice through the air, hammering out a blast of hockey with his attack. Now, Enel's going to watch the hockey blast directly through his attack, And currently, it does actually going to reach him, and no, he does want to dodge at the last second. As there actually is where it does going to slice up onto his arm. And now does this on turn and look down at his arm. I'm a lot more alarmed. He hasn't been hit like that before. These people are serious. And now Baku's a rush back in. As Enel, he's gonna bring up his weapon and go to electrify it again. Right now Bakugo gonna clash with Enel, as actions with a feeling they should reach Bakugo. Enel should make contact fast. But Bakugo, he's a pull back his weapon and throw at the other one. Him clashing it with Enel. And Deku can watch. He sees what is happening. Enel is trying to make Bakugo lose control of his muscles. And that does mean quite a lot of things. As currently the man does a rush towards Bakugo to attack. Him going to actually throw out his hand and blast out lightning. As their actions are Bakugo, he's going to move out of the way and dodge. Enel going to actually bring his hand up and blast down again. Bakugo going to turn and slice the attack out of the air. Him sending an attack towards Enel, as Bakugo, he does watch the man go to rush forwards and going to dodge. Him moving out of the way and bring out his weapon. Him electrifying again, and this time going to try out for an offensive attack. Now, Enel does actually have his golden staff, part of it in one hand, start to move forwards and elongate. And he does start manipulating the metal. Now, Bakugo does bring his own hands up and block one of the attacks. However, their actions with the golden staff is a stab right in Bakugo's side. And Bakugo does look down, Enel rushing forwards and trying to impale Bakugo. As in Bakugo, he is thrown backwards with the force of Enel. Enel bringing his hand up and superheating the other piece. Right now, the piece of staff inside Bakugo's body, it does start digging deeper and deeper and deeper. And Bakugo, he does actually look up towards Enel. Him using armor hockey and trying to flex his muscles. As for the gold, it is stuck inside Bakugo's body. However, right now that is having a hard time cutting its way through Bakugo's muscle and his organs. And on Bakugo, he does look down. The staff is, well, whatever this is, it's stuck pretty far in there. Okay, well, not good. Bakugo bring up his hand, and going to try and slash out with a no-sword style attack. As for Enel, he does go to try and let go of the staff as Bakugo, he does bring his hands down. Him going to grab onto the golden staff and pull it free. As for Bakugo, he does not feel the blood pour from his wounds. Him going to spin and hold the weapon, as well as a blast towards Bakugo. And Bakugo, he's going to throw this up into the air, as for Enel is to look up. Him going to launch himself directly up and grabbing at the staff. Him electrifying it and throwing himself back down. As Bakugo, he does a turn back. Him going to actually throw the sword in his mouth up and catching it with his teeth, striking directly into Enel's weapon. And Enel does try to at least manipulate the weapon. He threw it over his head and smashed it directly down. And Bakugo does throw up his hand and now punch Enel directly up in the jaw. Enel a lot more alarmed because he thought Bakugo's blades were the only thing special about him. Now, Enel is sent flying down to the ground after he went up into the air. And currently the man, he has a land and then going to reshape. Him going to stand on his feet as he does start to at least course with electricity. And Deku's going to stand there. As Bakugo, he was going to watch Enel somewhat bring his hand up to his jaw. The man a lot more annoyed. As Bakugo does a hold up his weapons and going to actually somewhat turn. I'm going to get ready as he does widen up his stance a bit. And I'm going to watch. Then Bakugo's lasers going to shift and does a blast forwards like lightning. And Bakugo, he has a rush forwards himself. As Enel does a clash with Bakugo. And the two, in the moment that their attacks are going to meet, Enel does actually going to hold up the spear. Him trying to slash it down as Bakugo, he has both of his swords going to hold back the weapon. And Enel is trying to bring up more and more lightning. Him crackling it down directly into the staff. As Bakugo, he is struck with the lightning, however he doesn't let someone going to stand there. Him going to throw out his leg and smashing it up into Enel's chest. And Enel is a lot more alarmed. He's going to kill over in pain because he still was not expecting an attack. He's trying to use observation hockey to stay one step ahead. But whenever he sees an attack, he always turns his body into lightning. He doesn't reflexively dodge. However, this is definitely annoying. His hockey and his ego are clashing. And that certainly is something else. Now, Bakugo acts as a let go of his sword as he doesn't bring it up. Him going to catch it with his hand and going to actually throw it over his head, slashing down and directly into the golden staff. and Bako hears a cleave right through it and smash it down to Anel's shoulder. As Anel, he's also screaming as he has to bring his own hand up. Him stabbing Bako with the staff as Bako's just standing there. Him having the staff dig into his shoulder as he's to force it down deeper and deeper. Him trying to break Bako's observation hockey, armor hockey, and pierce through his arm. He wants to at least take an arm. And Bako, he's to bring his own hand up, smashing Eldoki in the nose. As he's a slice through and cleave through Anel. And the man, he actually is a lot more alarmed. He tries to turn his body back into electricity. However, there actually is where he does a crackle backwards and reform. I'm going to stand there. As Anel does look down at his own chest, he feels not good. And right now Anel doesn't want to fall forwards. As he doesn't want to start coughing up blood. Him bringing his hand up and seeing the damage. Blood's pouring out of his chest heavily. And his heart is still beating, but he's going to die. I'm going to look at Bako, bringing his hands to turn a blast out at him. And the action of Bako, he does try and leap out of the way of the attack. However, it doesn't actually crackle into and grab onto one of his swords. Bako, feeling the thing, explode and try and throw charge directly at him. I'm going to bring up his arms and cover his face. As, right now, Bako, he doesn't stand there. One of his swords broken in front of him. And he only does have the two. Him, going to step forwards, and go to walk up to Anel, bring his foot up and smashing it down to the man's back. Before he's to bring up his swords and stab them down to the man's shoulders. As Anel does scream out in pain more and more. And Bako, he wants to teach this guy a lesson. He's going to turn his head to Deku. And Deku, he doesn't go to nod. As Bako, he does go to bring up the sword and pull it out. Him going to finish Anel. And everyone, they do just stand there. As Deku's going to turn to Bako. And Bako, he actually doesn't want to bring his hand up. Him going to actually examine that wound on his chest. Yeah, no. That does hurt. Bring his hand up to his lip. Him wiping away the blood and thinking about how that was not good. He's ahead, but Deku didn't intervene. Though that guy, yeah, he'll recover. But the gold thing, that wasn't expected. That on his mind. And currently they do to head back down to alert everybody as to what happened. And Asui, she does have a devil fruit now. The lightning fruit. Or as, if you do want to call it, the rumble fruit. It currently is in their possession. And this does mean quite a bit of things. Deku, he's quite happy. However, he does at least try to make an offer for Bako to take this devil fruit. But Bako, he still refuses. And Deku, he does at least get a hold of the fruit. Him a bit more intrigued about what this might mean. So, there's that all said and done. Now, when they do meet with the people on Angel Island, they actually are happy about what happened. And things can somewhat return back to normal. Their other leader, he can step back up again. He can take that place again. And things might return to normal. I mean, they might be able to actually live on Skypiea. And there might be a way for things to go back to normal. At the very least. I mean, there was an event in their past, and Anel held that hostage. He said something before, but they don't really know too much about it. Kept information secret, hidden, and now that he's gone, maybe they can move forwards. And that's at least a good start. People are happier. And that does say quite a bit. And there actually is Kanis, who doesn't meet back up with Deku and his crew. Her, a lot more excited about how things have turned out. Now that they don't have a Nell, things should be able to return back to normal, to a way it was before. It will take time, but they'll get there one day. Now, Deku, he doesn't really, I would say care, but he at least does acknowledge this. And he does try to tell them. They got something out of this too. Besides, if they ever do come back, How about they just waive the fees? And Kanez doesn't want to laugh. Her expressing about how they can do that. And currently Deku and his crew, they are given a few things. They're rewarded for what they've done. And they're actually, so they do something to investigate the island. And Momo, she's a lot more intrigued. Skypiea is a place of many things. And looking around here and meeting more people, it is intriguing. There are more people here. And it's weird. Strange. There are people who hid from Enel. And that does also say quite a bit. They thought they could hide. But Enel's been doing them slowly. So there's that. Now, currently, everyone, they do to return back to normal. And Momo is take a picture of a few things on Skypiea. Now, Deku and his crew, they do head back down to Jaya, where some people do to see them, and they're a bit concerned, especially because they heard all the lightning crackling above. And it certainly was loud. Now, some people here, they're also a bit more confused. Since Baku and his crew, or not Baku and his crew, Deku and his crew, they look like they were under attack. One of their guys are injured, and another one of them has some flesh wounds. Now, Deku, he does take everybody back to the ship, since they have a devil fruit, and they do sort of need to leave. They got a few things here, and that does mean quite a bit. Now, Deku, he also talked to a few more people before he left. Him wanting to get some information about what they've all heard. And the bartender, yeah, they do somewhat confirm a few things. Kirishima is locked and impaled down, and that does mean quite a lot. Now, Deku, he does get back to his ship, and they do get to head out. However, something feels off. Very off. And honestly, she was somewhat able to point it out quickly. However, they weren't going to point it out just yet. And there actually was where everyone, they got far away from Jaya. And someone, they were where they were not supposed to be. They are on this ship. They fucked up. And they might be killed. Especially whenever Deku, he currently does sit down. Everyone looking at him as he does something to congratulate his crew on what happened today. They got some good money. Along with that, they got gold. So, it's quite interesting. However, he does want them to know. The person in their ship, he wants to talk to them before they throw him overboard, since he wants to know who had the balls to step on his ship. Now, Deku doesn't stand up. Him gonna walk down below deck, and currently to walk to a room. Him bringing his hand up and opening the door. And the person currently is hiding, thinking that they can get away with where they are. And Deku, he has a look around the room, telling them. He knows that they're in here. If they don't come out of their hiding spot, then he's gonna shoot it. And the person is a freeze, as Deku does to express. They know exactly who he is. They know his abilities. They've heard of his crew. Or would they like to be thrown overboard? He'll make this offer one more time. Step out, or be shot. Now, creating the person, they just don't step out of their hiding spot. Deku staring right at it, as they do to someone open the cupboard and climb out from the smallest part. Now, Deku does stare, as the person, they crawled out, and they somewhat stretched, as they do try to ask him if he's actually serious, and if this is actually his ship. Yeah, it is. So who are you? Listen, I don't want, I just wanted a ride. A ride. You don't know how to sail, do you? Um, I, I don't. You were gonna try and steal it, but you realized you couldn't. Yeah, I didn't. I stole some food, I got that, and that must be how you found me. Yeah, sure it is. But I don't understand. How did you. I've been down there since I heard you guys get on board. You didn't hear us come back, did you? No. Okay. Listen. Who are you? And why are you here? The person's gonna turn, and Deku's gonna get a good look at their face. Without talking about it. It's gonna sound crazy. She knows. But she just wanted, well, a place to hide for a minute. She thought the moment she stepped aboard, no one would attack her or get her. She got a ride and she's just. She didn't know what else to do, okay? Stowing away was her best option. Huh, sure. You a pirate? Um, no. That was a bullshit lie. You fine, fine. Yes, I'm a pirate. Listen, I just. You're gonna kill me, right? No, I'm not. What? You're serious? You're gonna let me go? Oh, crap. Do you guys have a brick? No, we don't. Now shut up and listen. I'm going to make this once quite clear. Wherever you are, we don't care. I'm going to drop you off at the nearest island. And if you try and make trouble for me until then, I'll kill you. Got a name? Uh, yeah, it's Jiro. Good. Now, Jiro, come have a drink with us. Hmm? What? Yeah. If you're hiding and trying to steal our food, we really don't let you have you steal our booze while we sleep. Besides, you ain't nowhere else to go. We all know you're here, we can all find you. Jump into the sea, and we're missing money or shit like that, I'm coming after you. And you know I'll find you. Uh, right. Deku gonna turn, and Rojiro's try to debate. Stab him in the back, or listen. First, gonna bring her hand down, and Deku does express. Don't. Hmm? Um, how? I know. Listen, I made an offer once. Deku turning his head. I won't make it again. I'm gonna walk out of the room. And Jiro does what I think. Okay, so. Fuck. She stood away on the wrong ship. Uh. Shit. Shit. That right on her mind. And with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.